Hi everybody, I'm Makayla Richardson, and today I'm going to be doing a video on stretches to get your middle splits. So pretty much I hold most of these for a minute, but if I don't hold it for a minute, I'm going to tell you. And so let's just get started. I'm first going to show you my before I stretch, like what I can do in a middle split before I stretch, and then I'll show you my after at the end. If you don't know the approach on how to get into a middle split, I like to place my hands on the ground, keep my feet like this far apart at first, and then I kind of just slide down, and then when I feel like it, I go into my elbows, and then I might hold this, and that is also a really good stretch. I normally do that at the end. I don't like to do it at the beginning because I kind of just prefer like holding a actual middle split at the end because that is when you are farthest down. So the first stretch is a butterfly. It's pretty much you put your feet, the side of your feet, flat on the ground, and then you try to keep your feet together. And then you just push on your knees as far as they will go down. If they don't go down all the way, that's completely fine. Just try to push them down as far as possible so you can loosen up your hips. If you can only go just like here or something, that's fine. Just make sure you feel a nice stretch. Because if you don't feel stretch, there's kind of no point in stretching. And I hold that for a minute. The next stretch is a straddle. Make sure your knees are always pointing to the ceiling. And pretty much, I start with my bad leg. So if this was a side split, this would be my bad leg. And I kind of just reach over my leg and go down as far as possible. Even if you're like up here, that's completely fine. Just make sure you feel a really nice stretch. And then the next stretch, that one you hold for 30 seconds, and this one you also hold for 30 seconds. Although you can always lengthen these stretches however long you want. I would suggest holding them for at least a minute though, or 30 seconds for these ones, because that has really helped me like holding them longer. And then you go to like diagonal, like not on top of your leg, but like right next to your leg, kind of. And then you hold that for 30 seconds. And then you do that on your other leg, which for me is my right leg. And I just kind of go over top and make sure your knees are still pointed at the ceiling, because otherwise it will change the stretch. And then you do diagonal for another 30 seconds. And then now you will go to the middle and you will hold this for a minute. I like to put my chest on the ground and my arms out flat like this. And if you can't do that, it's fine if you're just like a little bit hunched over or on your elbows, or like if you can like touch like your nose to the ground, that's also good. But if you can go all the way down, I would suggest doing that because that is really helpful to this stretch. So the next stretch is pretty much my favorite, and that's why I hold it for the longest out of all of these. So it's this stretch. You kind of bend your knees back behind you, kind of like straight back, and then you try to push your hips to the ground. Like most of these stretches, like you try to like get as deep of a stretch as you can. Try to keep your hips in line with your knees, and you hold this for as long as possible. I started holding this for 2 minutes, and then each time I tried to hold it longer than the last time, and now I'm up to 4 minutes, which is a little bit uncomfortable, obviously, but I do like to hold that one the longest because I feel like it's the most effective for me. But you can hold these stretches the most, one of these stretches the most, if you feel like there's a different one that is the most effective for you. And so the next stretch, you pretty much just like separate your legs like this kind of, and then you bend your legs. Try to keep this part of your leg and this part of your leg at 90 degrees on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I feel like that's the most effective way for me. And then you push back on your legs. You can lean forward if that helps you do it better. But yeah, and you hold this for a minute. And then after you hold that for a minute, try to push back even harder on each side. And I do that 10 times on each side. So this is pretty much the last stretch besides holding the middle split, obviously. But you just it's near a wall, you put your feet against the wall, and then you see how close you can push your hips towards the wall. If you can like touch the wall with your hips, that is amazing. That means you are stretching very well. If you can't, just like try to go as close to the wall as you can. Hold this for a minute like most of the other stretches, and try to like push your stomach forward, and that is also a really good stretch to help you get your middle splits because it will stretch your hips a little bit deeper even if you can't push yourself to the wall any farther. And make sure you hold most of those for at least a minute, but if you can do longer, that's amazing. But the ones that are 30 seconds, you can hold for 30 seconds. I don't do those as long, but you can if you want. So the last but not least stretch is just the middle split. So I like to do like an oversplit, like I put one of my legs on my bed so it's like a deeper stretch, if you know what I mean. You don't have to, but if you think that would be a good thing for you, then definitely try it, because I honestly think it helped me feel a deeper stretch like when I tried to do my middle split. But yeah, so let's just show you that. So obviously here's my bed, and pretty much I just like put one leg like this. I usually do my right leg on my bed just because it's like that way I'm most comfortable, but you can try both legs if you want. And then you put your hands on the ground and see how far you can slide out. Make sure your hips are in line with your feet, and you push down as far as possible, and then you hold that for as long as you can. I would suggest a minute, but it doesn't matter if you hold it for very long or not, because you've already stretched mostly. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know someone who wants to get their middle splits, show them this video, and maybe they will get their middle splits. But yeah, so I will link some videos that helped me, some videos that helped me find like stretch ideas for middle splits in the description of this video, or maybe even in the iCard, because I did not just come up with these stretches on my own. So yeah, bye!